Hi, and welcome to the Knit Shift episode 11. My name is Laura, and today is Thursday, June 4th, 2015. I had to think about it for a second because I'm recording a day or two earlier than I normally do. I just decided, why not record today? I normally don't on the days that I work, but I was feeling really excited to share my projects with you guys, and I'm testing out a new recording setup today. For the past, I don't think I've mentioned it on the podcast, but I've been furnitureless basically in my living room for the past couple weeks while we furniture shopped. And it got delivered yesterday, and I am so excited. I'm telling everyone that I'm never leaving my living room, basically. I'm so excited to have this furniture. And I'm sitting in the big blue chair, came with this nice little pillow, and I will go ahead and, if it doesn't make you car sick or seasick, to rotate my laptop around. Over here is the new couch. And it came with all these nice cushy pillows, and it's really, really long. I'm 6 feet tall, and I can lie down on it, no problem. So I'm really excited. All right, seasickness done. If that's your problem, let me set my microphone here. So yeah, I wanted to test out my new recording setup. I think this chair will be my home base when I record. It's one of those chair and a halves. And we also bought an ottoman, which was not delivered yesterday. That was not ready. So that'll be here in about 5 weeks. But I am really looking forward to spending many hours sitting in this chair and knitting and watching TV or watching podcasts and putting my feet up. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about this development. And I think I can make the lighting, it's not too bad. I think it'll work. So it's a rainy day here, really, really rainy. And it feels like I'm back in England, and it's intermittent downpours and sprinkling, and it's just really gray, and it felt like a good cozy day to record. So yeah, that's what's been going on here. So if I haven't said it yet, thank you for joining me. I really enjoy spending some time with you, and I enjoy hearing from you in the Ravelry group. I didn't go through my spiel. This podcast is on iTunes, it's on YouTube, and it's on the blog, theknitshift.com, and that's where you'll find show notes for this episode and all episodes. And I'm on Ravelry as Yarn Stormer, and we have a Ravelry group over there. Just do a search for the Knit Shift. We have a knit along going along right now, which I will tell you about later in the episode. And I'm on Instagram as Laura Mahalski, so look me up and send me a follow request. I love Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram these days. And Ravelry more and more, now that we have a group going over there. So this episode, I've already told you about the exciting furniture in my life, and I'm going to share a finished object with you and a new project that I have been obsessed with. And, yeah, that's some odds and ends, and we'll talk about the knit along. So that's where we're going today. So let's get to it. I have the finished project to show you first and foremost. If you watched last week, you'll know that I was crocheting a blanket for a friend, and I finished that blanket. This is it's my first crochet blanket in quite some time. I'm really going to have to lean back to get this all in the frame. So here it is folded in half. And it's 3 rows each of the gray and the blue. The pattern is Soft Waves by Jan Eaton, and it's from a book, which I have right here. 200 Ripple Stitch Patterns, and it's number 6. In fact, I've used this pattern so much my book practically falls open to it. I believe it's number 6, yeah. No, number 8. So there you have it, this pattern here. And this is great. It has crochet and knit patterns, and often they're on facing pages, so if you see something you like but you don't know how to do it in crochet, it's often a similar version is facing it. Sometimes. Now that I'm flipping through it, of course, I'm seeing nothing that matches. But knitting is on the left, crochet is on the right. I highly recommend this book. It is not for sale anymore. I think it's been discontinued, but you can often find used copies on Amazon, so definitely check this out. Yeah, in fact, I'm looking at the sticker on the back of my book, and it has a sticker from November 2006 from Borders. Rest in peace, Borders. So yeah, I used a size H hook for this, which is a 5mm hook, and I started with the gray, and I basically crocheted until I felt like I was almost out of the first ball of yarn, which ended up being 12 rows, and then I switched to blue, and so on and so forth. And it's about 3.5 feet wide and about 4 to 4.5 feet long. So this is a very generous baby blanket for my friend from college who is expecting her first baby. So I'm really happy with it. I used Plymouth Encore, which is a lovely washable wool nylon blend. I don't mind crocheting with acrylic because crochet eats so much yarn that it's just not economically wise for me to crochet blankets out of wool. I crocheted a queen-sized, actually it's probably more like a king-sized blanket, ripple scrap blanket, which I'll have to show on the podcast sometime because it's one of my favorite projects. And that's mostly out of Plymouth Encore, scraps, and I bought so much yarn for that. So I really like Plymouth Encore. I can't recommend it enough for a nice, easy baby blanket. It wears well, and it's really cozy, and it matches my chair right now, which is kind of fun. And I'll be taking this with me. I'm going to see the mother-to-be in the end of July in New York City. I'm taking my first Amtrak trip. So that'll be really exciting. Let me fold this up. Set this over here. And my next project for you, let me take a sip of water. My next project for you is one you have seen before, and I don't know what I did with it just now. Oh, it's over here. I'm learning my way around this new furniture. I'm carrying this in this is my Drawn and Quarterly tote bag from Montreal. The Drawn and Quarterly is a graphic novel comic book store in Montreal, and my boyfriend and I went to Montreal on vacation almost 2 years ago, and we visited the shop, and we bought so much that we got, I think we got the tote for free. So it's a really cute little illustration, just a nice little typical canvas bag. Am I in the middle of a row? I didn't check beforehand. I am in the middle of a row. Oh well. This is my Serena Shadow Shawl by Antonia Shankland. And this is a 2-color shawl, as you can well see. And it's getting quite big. But this is where I was last episode, so it really does not look like much. And it's not, because I've been working on a new project more than this. But I'm determined to finish this by the end of the month. This is, I'm making this for a knit-along. My buddy Kate over at the Stitch Addiction podcast is hosting a shawl knit-along for May and June, and I'm determined to have this finished by the end of the month. So stay tuned on whether I can actually keep to that goal. It's getting quite big, actually. I mean, I can hold it up to myself, and yeah, it's getting quite large. And this, of course, it's all bunched up on the needles. The question is it wide enough to wrap around my neck, rather? And I'm not sure that it is yet. Yeah, here we go. Certainly a good size already. Maybe you know what, I won't even finish it. I'll just leave it like this and wear it with the needles. It'll be new couture. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I have lots of yarn left. In fact, that was not my intent to be a segue, but I have a lot of yarn left. The melon is Fleece Artist BFL, a nice BFL nylon blend. And this is Copper Corgi Savannah Sock, which is a 100% merino in the colorway Peacock. This has no colorway. This had about 375 yards. This had, I believe, 460. So there will be a garter edging, which I will make out of this. Could I block myself anymore? I'm I'm in a weird mood today. It's my Friday. I think I'm a little punchy. You guys normally see me a day later or 2 days later when I'm on my weekend, but I think I'm just punchy and ready for my weekend. So there you have it, my dancing balls of yarn. I bought this in Montreal on the same trip, and I bought this at my local yarn store, the Yarn Club in Virginia Beach, which I highly recommend, and I will say every time I'm recording, because it's a great shop with tons of cool indie dyers. So this is a very easy pattern. It's free. It's stockinette alternating with garter, and it could not be more easier. There's like a yarn over in the middle, and the center stitch is garter, though in hindsight I wish I had made it stockinette. But I think it'll block out to a good size. The pattern calls for DK weight, but I really wanted to use this fingering weight. So I just picked some bigger needles and hoped I could really kind of stretch it out when I block it. So that's what's going on here. And I cannot remember what size these are. I think they're 6 or 7. And I'm using my Knit Picks interchangeables, the options, the metal set. Or nickel plated, whatever you want to call it. So that and this new project are all I have worked on this week. And my new project is right here. Let's see, I'm done with that book. And I'm carrying this next project in my Knot House bag from a yarn store in Frederick, Maryland, which is a lovely shop in an old house. Highly recommend it. Was I holding it high enough so you could see the logo? I hope so. And this is a baby sweater I am knitting for the recipient of the blue and gray blanket. This is going to be a cardigan. I'm holding the right side toward you. In fact, how about I do it like this? So you can kind of see how the neck will be. This is a cardigan called Corrigan. Corrigan the cardigan. This isn't holding up very well, but it is by, I'll have to hit my phone button here, but I'm going to hold it up just so you can see the lovely cables on it. This is by Solène, and I don't speak French very well, and by very well I mean at all. So this is by Solène Qualorar. It costs €4 or $4.50 if you're American, and it calls for fingering weight yarn, and it offers 5 sizes from newborn up to 18 to 24 months. And the yoke is just this lovely cable on a stockinette, reverse stockinette background, and then the yoke of it, then beneath the yoke, the body of it is just plain stockinette. So I am more than halfway done with the yoke. I believe I'm on row 28 of 45, and I only started this 2 days ago. I'm impressed that I've gotten this far, and I am a little bit proud of myself that I haven't made a mistake that I've caught yet. Hopefully I haven't made any mistakes. But I really am loving this this pattern. I was a little intimidated by when I bought it because I don't knit a lot of cabled things. And I was a little nervous thinking, what did I get myself into? But it is super simple and easy to follow along. Because, when you're knitting, once you have it established, you know where the cables are and where the cables aren't. So it's either a knit or a stockinette. And I'm really enjoying it. I've never made a yoke sweater. I've only ever made raglan sweaters where you do the increases here and on the shoulders. And this incorporates the increases of the yoke throughout, and it's very natural, and I'm really excited about this. And I've even knit the 2 little buttonholes. Here, there's one. And I think I just did the other one. Down here. Yep, there it is. So to get some small buttons because those are small buttonholes. And I'm using Lammy Toes Moon Pie Merino, which is a 75-25, I believe. 75-25 merino nylon, and this is the colorway Changeling, and it's gray with blips of black and aquamarine and lime green, and every so often there's like a pinky sort of blip, which I love. Like, where is one? There was one right in the neckline. Oh yeah, here we go. One little pinky blip right there. It's just so pretty and so soft. I cannot recommend this yarn enough. Amanda, the dyer Amanda, is a friend of mine, and she makes beautiful yarn. This is my first time knitting with her yarn, and I'm obsessed already. So go check out Lammy Toes on Etsy, lammytoeshop.etsy.com. So, yeah, so I'm enjoying this so much. I don't knit cables a lot. I brought what I think is my first or second. I've only knit a couple cabled things, so I don't have that many to show. But I learned to cable from, I think, reading books and watching videos online. And it's really not hard if you've never tried cable knitting. It looks really complicated, but it's actually really easy. You need an extra needle. They sell cable needles in stores that are about yay big, and they sell them in really thin, medium, and thick sizes, depending on what you're knitting with. Because I'm silly, I can't find my cable needles, and I'm using an extra DPN. It's important that it has a point on both ends, because you need to put the stitches on to hold them, and then shift them to the other end to knit them without, getting them off the needles. So I've knit 2 pairs of socks in which I put a little baby cable like running up the side of the leg, and I reversed it on each sock, which was fun. But my favorite cabled project is this hat that I knit many years ago. It's Habitat by Jared Flood. And if you're talking about a cabled project, holy mackerel, what did I get myself into? The thing about this hat is this is knit out of Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. It's a very shallow hat. I'm not going to put it on my head because my hair is still drying, and I don't want to make it flatter than it feels like it is already. This barely covers to here. It's really kind of corny looking and just looks silly, but I just love it. I love the look of the cables so much that I can't bring myself to get rid of it or give it away. And it's a really woolly wool if you haven't knit with Shelter before, or Loft, the fingering weight version. It's not for everyone, but it makes a really lovely sheepy hat. And I mean, this even has cables going up to the crown. Oh, it's just such a nice pattern. I knit this hat in like 2 or 3 days, which, considering I'm a stockinette knitter. I love to knit stockinette. So considering how intricate this is, the fact that I knit it so quickly speaks to the desire I had to see it work up and see what it looked like. And I was addicted. And so if you guys have any cable patterns you would recommend, send them my way, because whether it's a hat or, I don't know that I would do a cabled sock. Basically, if there's cabled accessories that aren't socks, I would love to probably want to knit it, because I am thinking all about the cables these days with this Corrigan baby sweater. So there, that's my hat. So the baby knit, I'm knitting this as part of our baby knit along in the Ravelry group. I have a lot of babies coming up. I don't have babies. I have friends or family who are having babies soon, and I would like to knit for them, so I decided that would be a good reason to start a little baby knit along. So it's going on in the Ravelry group. You have to be a member to be eligible for prizes, so just join the group, and it runs June 1st through August 31st, so you have 3 months to work on it, to work on your projects. And basically it's any baby project except socks, because socks for babies and booties, that kind of thing, they're pretty simple and fast, and if they're really complicated, maybe they can count, but really it's for baby and child-sized projects. So yeah, that's really the only rule surrounding it. I will have a prize or prizes of some kind depending on the number of entries, and there's a thread for chatter over in the Ravelry group, and there's a thread where you can share just a photo of your finished knit that's not meant for chatter, because that'll be where I pick the numbers out of a random number generator and choose a winner or winners for prizes. So yeah, so come along and come knit with us. Come knit some baby stuff. It should be fun. What else did I have? I'm looking at my notes here. And that's it for my works in progress. I've not touched either of my sock projects at all the past 2 weeks. And I have no spinning to show you because I have not been practicing my drop spindle. I feel like I'm flashing back to when I was a kid and I played the piano for many years, and if I didn't practice in the weeks between my lessons, I would feel really guilty, and I'm feeling really guilty that I haven't been practicing my spinning because I'm so new at it. But I'm just really about the knitting right now. I know I'll pick spinning back up with my drop spindle very soon and be better about practicing with it, so we'll see. Practice makes perfect. That's the only way I'm going to get any better, so. And then this brings us to yarms, which, if you're new here, yarms is my jokey word for yarn that I say when I get yarms in the mail. I got some yarms today. So, stash enhancement, aka yarms. I have one thing to show you. It is my final installment of the Jill Draper Makes Stuff. Let me move this label around so it's a little easier to see. Jill Draper Makes Stuff, Esopus sock yarn in the colorway Luna Moth. And this is a pretty accurate representation of the color. It's a limey green. It's 500 yards of her superwash merino, and it's entirely American grown and spun. And it's, if you haven't seen Esopus before, it's got a great twist. Let me find a better. It's a really lovely yarn. I'm sorry, my cuticles are a mess. I'm trying not to show my fingers too closely. It's a great twisty yarn. It's great for shawls. I've never knit socks with it. I'm contemplating turning this into a striped shawl with something else because this color is not my favorite, but I think paired with a really bright jewel tone, I think it would look really nice, like a bright red or a purple or a blue. We'll see. So this was my last installment. I had received a 6-month subscription to her Esopus Sock Club for Christmas from my boyfriend. And I got to meet Jill at Maryland Sheep and Wool. She was working at the Jenny the Potter booth. And in both my May and June packages, she sends a note in every package, but she said, "It was so good to meet you at Maryland Sheep and Wool," which was really a nice touch, I thought. So I'm not signing up for a 6-month subscription for June through December. Pardon me. I'm not signing up for another subscription just yet because I've only knit up one of the colors so far. But I have received this. I've received a dark hunter forest green. I've received a bright sky blue, a bright yellow, a beautiful muted pink, which I already knit up, and a brown shade. So I really enjoyed it. She offers it in semi-solids or solids, kind of, that's one option. Variegated, and then there's also a she decides. So, and it's very reasonably priced. So check it out. You can, it's not just January through June and June through December. I believe you can start anytime. So check it out on her Etsy shop if you want to. Yeah, oh, it's so soft. This is the softest yarn. Oh, I love it. And that's it for yarns today, which brings me to odds and ends, my final segment. I had 3 things to talk about here. One is a book I would not recommend. On my drive on Memorial Day weekend with to and from Pittsburgh, I listened to most of an audiobook with my boyfriend, and I would just like to state for the record that he picked it out, not me. So the fact that I was ambivalent about it, we'll blame him. It was called, brace yourselves, The Sex Lives of Cannibals by J. Martin Troost. And when he told me the title, I was like, what are you trying to get me to listen to, sir? What is this? It's a travel memoir by a Dutch man who spent 2 years on an island in French Polynesia. And you hear that and you think, oh, French Polynesia, oh, that sounds amazing. He did not find it amazing. Basically, his girlfriend, who is now his wife, went to work at a nonprofit on an island called Tarawa, which is part of the nation of Kiribati. And if you see the name Kiribati, it is actually spelled Kiribati, but for whatever reason in the language it is Kiribati, not Kiribati. So in Kiribati, he's on an island, and they're all lagoon atoll type islands where there's like the land curves around and there's water. And I was a little nervous about it from the start between the title, and I was afraid it was going to be one of those memoirs where the white guy comes in and says, look at all these people I'm not like. And it definitely had those kind of touches to it, because and so that's why I didn't like it, really. It was meant to be a humorous book, and parts of it were, but I was just a little creeped out, I guess, for lack of a better term, by some of it. He does not find, it is not like Tahiti or Bora Bora or Fiji. It's not some beach vacation for 2 years. It's an island that the government has a lot of corruption, which I found interesting, and there's not really any running water. The sanitary systems are slim to none. People go to the bathroom in the water. It's just, there's not much food. It's really like you eat 95% fish there. There's no real grocery access. This is on the equator in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's like he flew, I think he said when he flew there, they flew from the U.S. to Hawaii, from Hawaii to the Marshall Islands, and from the Marshall Islands to Tarawa. So it was quite a journey to get there. And we didn't finish the book, just because our drive was not long enough to finish it. So I don't know that I would go back and finish it, but I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about it. He does talk about the island's origins and how people got there, and in fact, the title, The Sex Lives of Cannibals, has to do with how the nation was founded, basically, and how people came to be on the island, that kind of thing. So I really like travel books. I don't mind Bill Bryson books. But it was both informative, and there were parts that I just wasn't comfortable with, so I would have to not recommend this book. So that's that. One thing I would recommend, I do have a podcast of the week. I don't know that I've done this segment in quite some time, if at all. I've talked about some friends' podcasts who I really enjoy, but I don't know that I've mentioned other podcasts in general. And the one that I want to mention this week is called All You Knit Is Love, which I think is just such a fantastic name for a podcast. For anything knitting related, All You Knit Is Love. And it's by a girl named Leah, and she lives in France, outside of Paris, I believe, and she's really lovely, and it's in English, not French, because I don't speak French. She knits really beautiful stuff. The very first episode I watched, she knit these gorgeous colorwork socks that were just beautiful colors. I think she has a really good color sense, and I recommend it, definitely. So go check out All You Knit Is Love. It's on YouTube. I subscribe to it if you can't find it by searching for it on YouTube, so check it out. And this brings me to my final bit of the week, and that is my lipstick of the week. So let me scooch forward in my seat here. My feet are asleep for a half hour. I am wearing Rimmel London, Moisture Renew, and Berry Queen. I like it very much. It's a good color. Moisture Renew is a misnomer, though. It is not moisturizing at all. So it's in this lovely purple tube. The nice little queen type icon there. There we go. And I bought this probably, gosh, a year and a half ago. I probably should have tossed it by now, but I can't help it. I love the color. And the colorway is Berry Queen. And it's a lovely reddish, it looks very red. I'll reapply it. It's a lovely reddy pink color. There. Sorry, I'm using the camera to apply and fix my lipstick. So, yeah, there's a fresh coat of it. I like it very much. And it matches my glasses. So there you have it. There's my lipstick. So yeah, that's the end of the episode in right around 30 minutes, which was my goal. So I will probably, well, it doesn't matter when I have it uploaded because you'll see it when you see it. So yeah, I hope you've had a great week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I don't have much planned. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do have stuff planned. Tomorrow is my day off. I'm off Fridays and Saturdays, and I am meeting up with a friend, a new friend, in the morning, an Instagram friend, and then Saturday I'm seeing some of my oldest and dearest knitting friends for some knitting time, so that'll be really fun. So it's always good when you can include that kind of stuff in your week. So wherever you are, I hope you have a fantastic week and you get to do lots of what makes you happy, like knitting. So take care, and I will see you next week. Bye!